Okay, so we're about a day and a half from ending sales on the 2022 Audi Quattro or Audi Club Quattro Sweepstakes, where we're giving away a 1985 or a Quattro. You've probably all seen that before. So here we want to go through the other items that go with the car. So when you purchase it, often when you purchase an old car, if you purchase one that's been well cared for and taken very seriously by the owner, they want to keep track of the history and have all the goods that go with it. This car is definitely one of those cars, and so we wanted to share the other items that go with the car. So first of all, there is a factory key with the car. That is currently with the car at Audi Allentown. We also have a just a copy key, right? This probably would have been made at a hardware store or whatever. It doesn't look like an Audi factory key, but it is a backup key for the car nonetheless, and it's always nice to have those. So that goes with the car. In addition to the factory key and the backup key, we also have two keys from Formalworks. We've shown these before, or we've shown one of them before. We just got the second one today, so I wanted to show them both. They both come in these great presentation boxes that say, well, actually, let me show that first. It's really great where it shows, information, whether it's Audi Quattro, whatever. It's just a nice. Actually, it says 1985 Audi Quattro. Sorry. So just a really great presentation from Formalworks. This kind of honed, this is probably aluminum pill box, and then inside we have, this is the new one that arrived today. So it says Audi Club 2022 for the sweepstakes on it, and then on the other side it says Quattro. So it's got the Quattro script logo. So a neat touch there. This one has the black blade versus the silver blade. They make a modular key, right? They have interchangeable heads, and we'll be giving away one of those in the final promotion of the sweepstakes as well. And you can choose different finishes for different portions. We went with, in this one case, the black blade and the silver head. And then this one, because they'd already shipped us back our keys, they weren't able to go ahead and cut it, but you could get that cut at a dealer or at a hardware store or any place that does key cutting. But it's set up for an Quattro, so maybe you have another Audi and you prefer to have it there, but again, with the Audi Club 2022, it's meant to go along with the car for sure. So that's the new one. I will leave that there, and then we have the existing one that we had before that is cut and does work. We've used it with the car already. It's all silver. So they're Quattro on one side and Audi Club 2022 on the other. Now, interestingly, I don't know if you know, if you check out the Formalworks website, they do these great watch quality keys. Just see the small fasteners that hold the two segments together. The cutting, it's just really high quality, amazing craftsmanship. This particular design is called their DTM design. It's got a kind of box flare harkening shape to it, so we thought that was really fitting with their box flares on the Quattro. And so those both go with the car. So you actually have 4 keys to go with the car. And then should you want a keychain, we also just thought this was a cool touch, so we picked it up. So it's a Quattro script on a piece of black leather. We got that out of eBay UK, I believe. Should you want to get one yourself, that's where we found it. And then next up, if you've seen the car in person or maybe seen in our photos, in the back window there is an Audi Sport Championship decal that probably was on the car new when it came out, and at this point it's very sun-baked and patinaed. It's hard to read. People have asked us, why is that old decal in there? Well, we left it in because it's original to the car, but more recently at Vintage to Voltage, we were chatting with Brian Sikorsky on Instagram. He's T44 Brian. Brian's a prominent collector on the East Coast in Connecticut of 80s, 90s era Audis, and he's also a really talented detailer. He had some of the decals reproduced for his own collection, and he had a couple extra. So I don't know if you can see that because of the backing paper, but it's basically a replica of the decal that was in the car. So if the new owner wishes to freshen it, get rid of the original, and put a new one in there, they can. They have that option, and we'll make sure that goes with the car. Next up, we have the box for the Porsche Classic radio. That's now the radio's in the car and installed and operational, including Bluetooth and phone and CarPlay. In here is the head unit, not the factory unit, but the head unit that was in the car when we purchased it. as well as any remaining wiring, etc. That's all in there, and again, we'll go with the car. An original packaging for the radio, should you need it. And then finally, we have documentation. So this bag is from Audi Tradition, and what they sent us I'll get to in a moment, but this has a bunch of other just documents that go with the car. So I'll go through those quickly. In addition to, I guess, the box for the radio, we have a couple manuals. So you put those in the glove box of the car or keep those separate, but those go with the Porsche Classic radio. And then we have a binder that was assembled, I believe, by Kevin Ginsberg from Ambassador, who was a previous owner of the car as well. And it's got a bunch of details. So on the front, it's got the basic build information. Since this is a build car and it's got things like Porsche Boxster brakes, etc., you'll want to know what all's been done to the car, especially if you're taking it to a repair shop or whatever, something needs replacing or fixing or adjusting. And so a lot of that is cataloged in here. Now, some things won't be up to date, largely just the only changes we made to the car here. It lists the VW Trophy Recaro seats. Those were a little saggy, so we replaced those with new Recaro Experts, and the head unit. But largely, otherwise, the car is as it was delivered to us. Inside, it's got the service manual. You'll notice this is a European spec, so VAG, VAG service rather than the US spec service book. That's because our car was a late production US spec car that was sold to a German in Germany because Audi of America had stopped importing them at that point. So that's mainly, most of those early services you'll see there are in Germany. That's all cataloged here. Then you have previous title when it was in California. I believe that's when it was imported to the U.S. And then a bunch of like the Carfax history, importation into Canada when it went there to Competition Motors. Competition Motors being the company that built it, also when they sold it to the U.S. And then we have it coming into the U.S. Here's an EPA form. And then more things, background emails from the original builder, Eric at Competition, transaction documents for when it came to the US, receipts for other things that were done, services and parts, emails about the car and its history and communications between the owner and other people, alignment information, just a lot of really great stuff. So when you have a lot of owners who just really love their old car, they'll keep track of it very meticulously, and this car certainly is. And it's where we found a lot of the history when we wrote the backgrounds on the car, including it going across, bring a trailer first in 2011 and then later. Just great history on the car. So that goes with the car. And you may want to add this, you may not. Audi Tradition, back to the bag, also sent us authenticity papers on the car. So this is something that if you're in Germany is available. I don't think it's available to Americans, or you'd probably have to get it while you're in Germany. But what it includes is, first, a certificate of authenticity. So this basically has, from Audi Tradition, the basics on the car, the VIN, the specs, the original equipment that was fitted to it. So like we know that it had Zermatt silver paint and the code, Kodiak graphite leather and the code, option codes, etc. Total production figures for the Quattro in general, but that would be from 1980 to 1989. So that's everything for all markets. 10,518. In the US, there are only about 70 some US spec cars built in 85, which would be the facelift grille and the facelift interior. So kind of a rare car, just one of the more rare Quattros. And then beyond that is a reprinting of the original press kit materials on the car. So just the documents, right? The information on, well, actually, there's optional equipment, right? Like, show that. That's got, whether it's built to California regulations, the plastic tailgate, etc. And then build list, and then the press kit. So the period press releases about the car. So just nice detail. Maybe that be kept separate. Maybe that would go in that binder, whatever the new owner wants. So really cool way to kind of keep track of the car. details and package that go with it. So if you haven't entered the Audi Club Quattro Sweepstakes yet, it's a very well loved, very fun to drive car. I drove the car of the weekend for Cult Classic briefly, and it's got great power, makes great noises, a fantastic way to spend a summer day. You could win it and drive it. You just need to enter the sweepstakes at www.audiclubna.org and click on the banner for the sweepstakes, or directly go to go.rallyup.com/Audi Club Quattro Sweepstakes, where you can enter directly into the sweepstakes. And all proceeds go to Audi Club North America. So your support of us is most appreciated, and hopefully might pay off in getting your own or Quattro. They're getting harder and harder to find and more expensive. So this one is a wonderful runner with about double the horsepower of stock. We're only selling tickets for this another day and a half. It ends at the end of the month. So the last day of June is the last day to get tickets, and then we'll be giving it away the first week of July. So please enter and hopefully you win. Good luck, and thanks for checking this out.